Good morning. Welcome to the Dawn Patrol. I'm Bob Hoey. I'm your host today, and next to me is Sean McDonough, City Councilor. Next to him is my friend, and he's the same age as I am, Tom Bomil from Drake. John McDonough's behind the camera, and today is the fourth anniversary of our old friend, John.
George Anthes passed away 4 years ago today. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, God bless George
Good guy.
Anthes. God bless you, my friend.
Gave us all a good start.
Yeah, so, before I get to Sean or Tom, Ned Tarmey, that name's been driving me crazy over the Easter weekend, because I know and I heard Corey Robinson is running for Rodney's seat.
Right.
And when I heard that, I said, oh, beautiful, because That's someone I like a lot, so we'll see what happens. And so when I heard that news, Ned Tarmey said to me one day, when he was alive, obviously, he said to me, hey, Bob, he says, this Corey Robinson, he's going to be a state rep. I goes, really? That's saying a lot, when you got Rocky, right?
Oh, yeah.
Rock lives in that one. I believed, so his support in Pawtuckaville, come on.
Yeah, he would take a drastic pay cut. He would work out the courthouse.
Oh,
He would
yeah,
take a drastic
yeah,
pay cut. So.
yeah. But I'm
Most
glad
people
to see
make
this. I'm glad to see it. I hope he stays on the city council. I hope he stays on that.
He
no
can.
matter
It's
what.
like Eddie Kennedy stayed. We talked about that a few minutes ago. There's nothing that says he has to get off.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can handle another special election, though. I just mentally. It wouldn't be for me, right? It's not my district, but boy, poor Will's going to need a raise if he's going to do another election.
Well, I've been around a while, and I think you're doing a fabulous job. How's that? You have a way that makes it fun to watch, a little bit fun, because of the way you ask questions and the way you'll put out apologies. I think you're doing a bang-up job.
He's not afraid to ask the tough questions.
If I was to give you a report card right now, I would give you A- to an A+ in between there. You're doing a great job.
Been a
Keep
B+ student
it
my
up.
whole life. I can
Keep
live with my
keep it up.
Yeah,
I-
you're doing a great job.
Oh, without a doubt. And we were talking off here. We talked before we come on the show, and there's no doubt that to me, and you said it, Tom. You said it before we come on the show. Back-to-back mayors.
Yeah, two
Two
great
good-
ones. Yeah,
Boy, two
Yeah.
great mayors. I mean, it's cool.
yeah,
Because that's a big issue, right?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
They want the people to pick the mayor. I don't know.
I want the people to pick the mayor. I think the current mayor wants the people to pick the mayor.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a good way to start. I don't think it's a good way to start. And I think this year was one of the year. It happens often enough though in Lowell. This is not the first time it's happened. I don't think it's a good way to start the council's year. You just start with the most just personal fight right off the bat. Like, hey, welcome to local government. Let's just have a personal fight. No, it's silly. Let the people vote. That's why I don't know. So
But they've come
there's
up
got to be
with
an issue with it. I understand it. There's the consent decree. There's 100 reasons we can't do it. But doesn't mean I don't think that people should be able to vote.
Oh, they've come up with reasons you can't do it. You said.
Yeah,
Oh.
and one of them goes, and I understand it. One of them goes to the voting rights lawsuit that got us district councilors, and kind of laid out the way the votes were going to work, and that any modification to the election plan at all would need to go back.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's which is the biggest hurdle.
Yeah, it's just, I worked for 4 different mayors, okay? For just 2 years apiece. And when I look back, I go, wow, they carry more weight than people think. And not just going around, ceremonial things and stuff like that, or veterans corners and putting reefs up. No matter what the issue is, this city council for the past, I'm going to go 4 years, I've been impressed. I really been impressed because we're facing a lot of issues now.
Hey, Tommy, you want to waltz out there and unlock the door. Freddie's coming 6:30.
Okay.
Especially, Sean, when it comes to money, obviously. And if I was on the school committee right now, if I was on it, I did 7 years on it, but I'd be saying,
Thanks, Tom.
I'd be complaining, right, about the maintenance of effort contract that we have with the city. I would like to see how it's written. Go right through it.
Yeah.
And I've been hitting the mayor's ear a little bit with that issue. It's, let's see if the city is doing the right thing for the schools as far as money goes.
Yeah, I got it. Hold on.
But No, that's what I would be complaining for. Oh, I have many other.
Oh, I think I went through it. Look, now I'm gonna get some more time on Sunday's blog.
And the
but
only point
I would agree with you. You go through the thing; it's pretty garbage.
The only thing I'm trying to get to you right now is I always looked at the smartest person. To me, Connie Martin. That's who I looked at.
Hey,
As
Bobby,
far-
how is Connie? She's not going to
I don't
meeting, I'm
know.
told.
I don't know, and I hope she's okay. But I'd look at her, hear her opinions, and what I loved about being on a school committee with her, we barely were ever on the same page. A few times, but I would be, if I was on a city council, and I was unsure about almost anything, I'd be going towards your mayor. Danny Rourke, last time to me, was a great leader, great
Thanks a
mayor.
million, Tom.
I don't know how Eric became mayor. I'm still puzzled.
No comment.
No, you don't have to make comments.
No,
I'm
no,
just
kidding.
saying
It was a joke. Yeah.
how I feel personally.
It was wild.
He kept telling me and calling in on the show and saying, you're going to be surprised. And I'm saying, what's the surprise? What's the surprise, Oh, boy.
A comment from the audience. Since we don't elect the mayor, there is nothing special about being the mayor of Lowell. The mayor is chosen by 11 people out of 115,000. That's Bart. Bart, the mayor gets to pick who gives the best answer. That's what the mayor gets
It's
to
true.
do every single meeting. All the hands go up, and he picks on Sean McDonough for the best answer.
Well, he also the mayor does right. So they run the meeting. They get to pick who speaks in what order. That's kind of the sneaky power. They're supposed to just go in order, but a lot of times everybody's hand goes at the same time it wants to speak, right? To your point. The other thing they do is they do all of the subcommittee assignments, which, depending on the subcommittee, can matter. It always matters. I guess it depends on what you care about. They also, what else do they do? They're on the school committee. They get a vote on the school committee. That's a big one. One of my favorites, I went to the daily school yesterday. A teacher was doing like a civics, whatever. So I went over for an hour and spoke. One of my favorite Plan E pieces is if the city council it's never happened. It will never happen. This is just funny. If the city council ever feels as though we are in an emergency, you can give all of the power of the police and the ability to enforce the laws and maintain order to the ceremonial mayor. It's like the King of England. They have no power unless they want it.
Bud Caulfield had that.
Did he get it?
When the city was flooded, he was the mayor,
Yeah.
and he took the reins, and he was the boss.
Yeah.
And he ran a great job, I
It
think.
was just like when COVID hit, Leahy took over as state of emergency. He took over.
Did a great job.
Yeah. Yeah, there are some emergency powers in there that I don't think they don't always get formally rung out, and they're often not really remembered. But there are the other piece, and this came up with the ongoing senior center saga, is that the mayor is officially they are the head of the city, whether they're chosen by 11 people or all the people or Plan E gives us what we have. They are legally the person in charge of the city. They need to be served, so civil process needs to go through the mayor. All sorts of interesting little legal tidbits in there.
Well, backing the bus up just a little bit, Sean, to elections. Will Rosenberry, I think the guy's name is. Nice guy. You got to bring him to the meeting and say, okay, Will, a week before elections, I want the electric signboards that the city owns to say voting day's next Tuesday. I want them all to be out there at busy intersections so people see them. And also, I want the parking cones out at 6 a.m. for voters to be able to have a place to park right next to the door. And is that going to happen positively, Will? Or do you think that might happen? Or does Tom Golden say, no, I don't want those electronic
I know
boards out there?
the last time that, and I wasn't on the council yet, but the last time that Will went in and was asked questions, and it's usually, I don't remember who originated this motion. I will say most of the election access stuff comes from Councillor Noon, and it's always good. He said, "Well, look, here's my budget. This is the budget I have for outreach. This is how I've spent it. I don't have money left, right? So if you want, anything costs money. I don't understand why it's so difficult to get those electronic signs out. I don't get it. I think it's a great idea. I think we should do it. I also think the mailers, and I know there was a mistake, particularly in my district in 4-4, but mistakes happen. It got corrected. I think those mailers that the elections department did before the special election with, hey, remember everybody, you can vote, and here's where you vote. I think those were a great idea. I think Will's had some good ideas.
Well, if he gave you the song and dance, I don't have any money, fire somebody. It's only so the populace knows to vote.
Yeah. No, I think the budgets are choice making, and I think it's not always.
You blow all the dough.
It's not always the department that runs out of money that's the one that ran out of money. It's the payments somewhere else that could have been allocated, right?
Comment from the audience. I don't have the choice to vote who I would like for mayor.
I want you to vote for mayor.
So I don't really care who the mayor is. They are a glorified city councilor in my eyes. That's from Bart. Thank you for your comment.
Yeah,
Bart,
So
excuse me.
starting on East
Excuse me just for a second. Listen, if you looked at the last mayor, we had Danny Rourke. Now you got Eric Gitchia. To me, something's going right about the way we pick our mayors. If it was real bad, I'd want to let the people vote too. But right now, I don't want to change much. We had that redistricting, and that's another big issue. I never liked it. No one on the show, I don't believe, liked it.
I liked it.
No, you might have, but not the rest of us.
Yeah,
But,
no, I had to say.
no, we just liked the old way, leave it alone, and this and that, planning government, all this stuff. But it started to get weak, get broken down like everything else, But again, I love the youth, the young people like yourself. I think that has to happen. And it's funny. We just talked about Connie Martin. I'm the guy right behind her, so if there's something wrong with her, I'm not sure, and I hope there isn't anything wrong. If she was to leave, I'm next, and I would have to make a decision if I wanted it or not, obviously. And I'd say, you know what? I'm thinking I'm going to pass it to that girl Zoe to come in behind me. I think she'd be a better candidate. That's how I feel. Younger than me, a person of color, which Lowell is loaded with minority people. And who's the minority? Probably, I would say the blacks. And I know the population pretty well. We're probably tied with Cambodian people, but we have a lot of Hispanic. A lot of it. It's probably 50%.
Well,
It's
I think if you say Southeast Asian, I'd agree with you.
Oh, yeah.
But I think all the Laotians are the minority in the Asian.
Yeah. Oh, no, there's no doubt. Oh, no doubt. There's no doubt to that. What I'm just saying, the big population is Spanish-speaking people. I always told my granddaughter, and she was in that Latin Lyceum, I wish they didn't teach Latin. Let them learn Spanish. You're going to have to know that, especially in this area, And then you're a special ed teacher that retired. That really, oh, man.
Well, I didn't retire. Not old enough.
Well, he retired at
Oh,
30.
yeah.
That's
I
good.
didn't retire.
So I just want to go
whatever.
back to
Go ahead.
what John talked about the signs and voting. The big what do you call them? Jumbotron. I don't know what you call those signs they put out from the city, and the town will put them out. Approximately, probably the week of the 20th.
Hold off there for a second, Tommy. I want to show you
Oh boy.
this here. This is Francisco watching us in Puerto Rico. That's his little, he's sitting down having a coffee. Francisco Maldonado just sent this in from Puerto Rico. So he's watching us from Puerto Rico. Thank you, Francisco. Cisco, we'll see you next Tuesday.
So we will probably the week of the 20th. Draker will put out all the signs. First of all, saying it's going to be early voting starting, I believe, on the 25th, and then the election for the town selectmen's races on May 2nd, they'll have the signs out. I don't think it makes a difference. I think you could have limousines picking up people to go vote and they wouldn't vote. People just don't vote.
If you drag them out, it works. As someone who did it, okay, I didn't have the limousine, and I've said, and I think this is probably my least progressive take that I can have. I'm fully aware of that. If people don't want to vote, 70% of an election is turning out your voters. That's the whole job. It's a turnout game. So if voter turnout is bad, there is a part, especially with a special election, especially off-year elections. Okay, people do need to know that there's an election, but it's on the voter, but it's also really, really on the candidate who's looking for a vote to, one, give people a reason to go out and vote, and two, make sure that you mobilize your voter to go vote for you. That's the game.
Yeah, and you had to know the issue. Have come up with one issue
the game.
everybody likes, and you could get a lot of support.
When your election, Sean, did you have people that never voted, but they voted because you were running? Right?
Yeah, they voted. Either they hadn't voted, they hadn't voted in a municipal election. I went through the numbers. I looked again the other day for a different reason. Voter turnout in Back Central increased 35% in my election. It was up 35% on average in a municipal election year.
Sure.
Voter turnout in 4-4, that's my section of Centerville and Pawtucketville, 130%. Over just the last, yeah.
I hate to spoil this conversation, but Sean, I got elected 4 or 5 times. I forget now. I think it's 5, and then I left halfway through the term. But I look at a person like you, and I'm not going to lie, just like me, exactly like me. It's your name, McDonough. I mean it. I'm a Hoey, but you might not know that, but they're like, we're everywhere. We're a mixed breed. Your name means so much. Look at this district that you're in charge of.
You're right to a point. The name, so name recognition matters. I think having Mr. McDonough behind the producer stand over there with a last name we share plastered on the side of a building
Uncle
certainly
John.
helps.
Uncle John.
However, I'm not talking about the percentage of the vote I got or the number of votes, whatever. The increase in turnout, though, I would attribute the majority of the increase in voter turnout to the fact that even on election day, I was still, to Tom's point about you could put them in a limo. Well, it turns out that if you knock on someone's door at 6 o'clock at night on election night, you see them getting out, they're walking in from work, and you start yelling at them in Portuguese, I really need you to go vote, that they'll go vote. They will. With a personal invitation, people will go, and they'll remember, hey, I remember I talked to you 3 months ago? Oh, well, yeah. And that's what I would do. I remember we talked? Oh, yeah.
I got a text here from Bart.
Oh, boy.
He's our only viewer this morning.
Yeah.
That's texting. I also like the current mayor and would have voted for him as mayor, but I don't have that option, so I don't really care. Until I have that option, it's a popularity contest, as is the city council race. And the city councilors, the newbies, lack the wisdom, and they knock on everybody's door.
I don't knock on everybody's door.
The smart, the enlightened candidates knock on only voters' doors.
Right. Well, so what I did.
So, talking to the limousine you're going to have pick people up, voters do vote. And if you vote on a voter's door and you make a plea to them, there is a strong possibility they might champion you that day of voting day.
But identifying who is a voter is also, and this is it's part of the whole elections thing that people don't talk about, because everyone's like, oh, it's all about the ideas. Yeah, the ideas matter, but you got to actually market them, right? You got to get people to go vote. It's not just voters vote. Okay, but what kind of voter votes? Someone who only votes in federal elections votes? Someone who's voted in every federal election, one local election, and they vote in state election years? They vote consistently every 2 years, one time they vote. Who votes? I don't know. You got to figure that out. And whoever does that the best, whoever identifies their voters and then gets their voters to go vote, they win. That's the game.
Well, it's state reps this year. It's not city council. You guys are next year, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So state reps this year, and I'm happy to know Vanna does have 2 challenges already.
Wow.
She's got the same 2 challenges she had for the preliminary, and it'll be interesting. Joe Espinola's putting his hat in the ring, from what I garner off of Facebook, and I'm been being told Sam Meese is going to do the same thing.
Oh, there's a,
I'm not trying to brag, but do you remember me saying on the last show or the show before that, I said Joe will run as a Democrat in the general election. So he's not gone. You know,
think he's
I
running.
support him. I support him.
I asked
but-
Joe when he was on this show if he'd run against her, and he said he would. So it's not surprising that he's going to run. He'll run as a Democrat.
Right.
I
Well,
think.
we're gonna have competitive races.
I don't know if Joe's
up and
running
down
as
the ballot.
unenrolled or not.
No, that's my point. I know he's going. I guarantee you. I would say, and I love putting it on the line. He'll change from an independent to a Democrat.
Right.
You know.
Well, that'll be the first time in a long time that I would vote Democrat on her, because I'll vote for Joe.
Yeah, me too. But just look at one of our favorite persons. Nothing against you, Sean. Is the Registry of Deeds. Remember that election?
Yeah. Yeah.
First time out against her boss, I said, "Oh, this woman's beautiful. Who's going to run against their boss?" And he's, you know, a pretty powerful political person in the whole area, Dick Howe.
And then she stayed.
Yeah,
She
yeah,
stayed in her position
Yeah,
as
I
an
know.
underling.
yeah.
That was fantastic.
That says a
Karen's
lot.
quite the spirit. She's got good spirit.
Bob, you want to go back to what we talked about maybe like 5 minutes ago about the possibility if there was a vacancy on the school committee and you not thinking you might not want it, would it be because of health or would it just
No,
not?
no. Just because I
Because
think.
you earned it. You
No,
worked
no,
your head
yeah,
off, tail off.
I did not really. I was out a lot, you know.
Yeah.
But I have that option, which is nice. I
Yeah.
could do it if I wanted to, but
I hope you do.
well, I'm going to say this, what I say a lot to myself when I'm just dreaming about it, that the person that come in behind me, Zoe, I know she's connected, I believe, not when I say connected, to Corey Robinson, obviously. They live in them areas. And I'm the one that says, hey, she said, I want to run for the school committee, but I don't want to hurt Del Rossi. I goes, listen, you don't have to run against Del Rossi. Run against me. That's what I said to her at Corey's party, because I like her a lot.
Bobby,
I
what
like
was your
her
slogan?
a lot.
Vote for the hoe or the Zoe. What was your
Oh,
slogan?
yeah,
Boy,
that wasn't good. But you know what?
I get in trouble
I'm
every time
serious.
I come on this show.
I'm really, listening, you're on it right now. I'm excited about
I got a
it.
comment from the mayor.
Yeah.
Eric texted this morning. I may campaign totally wrong, but I do knock on every door in areas I get to. Even though some people don't vote, my hope is to get them out at many of the doors I knock, and they have very real conversations, and they are still a major part of our community. Eric, that sounds good, okay, but they're not customers. They're never going to vote. The process to register to vote, they're chicken. Maybe they didn't sign up for the draft. Maybe their daughter-in-law is an illegal. They don't want any connection to the government.
Well, a lot of people are registered and don't vote, and it's why I use the list I used. I got 5, 6, 1, 2, 4. I got 6 elections from Will, because there were a couple preliminaries and there was a state primary in there too, and I just went by that. And when I expanded my list to see who else I wanted to talk to, what I pulled in was like targeted talk to. If you see someone on the sidewalk, I talk to them. I see someone in their front yard, I talk to them. Right? I stopped at one point. There was a group of Brazilian guys. They can't vote. They told me, they were like, we get green cards. We can't vote. I go, that's fine. You grill and chicken. This is fun. Hung out for a little bit. It was great. I'll talk to anyone. I'm not going to get into a 4-unit building and try and knock on a door of someone who can't vote. But when I really expanded it, I went to the federal election. I said, so if you voted in the federal election, you're the least likely person to ever vote in a municipal election who can vote and knows how to vote. You know where your polling place is, because at some point you went and voted. And I must have gotten a sliver of them, because the turnout went up.
I'll argue with Eric, the mayor, when he's here. He responded to my remarks. Their friends are customers.
That's also true.
I'm trying to tell you, Eric, okay? If they're not registered to vote, they're not talking to their relatives or their friends. I'm voting for Eric Gitchia. They're not talking. They don't talk politics. And one of my best friends lives in downtown Lowell, is not registered to vote, will not registered to vote. And his answer to me why he didn't is computers. His daughter-in-law is not a citizen, and he doesn't want to be on any computer list because he loves his daughter-in-law.
Yeah, when you talk about computers, if I had computer knowledge, if I knew how to use one, I can't even use a phone. Really, not well anyways. I could be a great car salesman. I just know a lot of people, get them in there, sit them down, and put the screws to them. It's an easy thing to do. You know, you really, when you buy a car, it's crazy how easy they just beat you down. It's all about your credit score, you know. It's
Bobby,
amazing world.
being a seasoned one-time used car dealer that you are, or a car dealer that you
worked
were,
once.
how soon into the conversation do they know my credit score?
Not yet, until they sit you down, get some information off you. So I'd say you're out in the parking lot, maybe no more than a half hour with that customer before you put the hook in them, you know. And
You bring them inside, you say, "What's
bring
up?
them inside, sit them down. Would you like anything? Do you need flowers? You know, everything.
Donuts.
Flowers.
Donuts.
No,
Want flowers, popcorn,
But-
candy bar?"
it's part of the game, without a doubt. And it's not a good game, let me put it that way. I was even called by the boss, the owner of the place. I won't say the name of the place. But he said I was a social worker. I said, what? He goes, you're a social worker. He goes, I've seen them all. He says, I don't mind you. He says, I'll tell you what I like about you. Nobody can get them in the seat inside the building faster than you can. Beautiful. But then he heard me saying to some kid that was trying to buy a truck, Tom, and I looked at it, I go, I say, buddy, this truck is $65,000. That's a pretty heavy payment for a guy your age, you know. I could tell he's no more than 20. I goes, go out back. There's a few trucks out there with 60,000, 70,000 miles. And he heard me say that, the boss. Oh, that was it. That was the,
The
end,
next
of,
time he was out the door,
that was the end of my
he
career.
was gone.
That was the end of my career, by the way.
Wow.
But I want to go back to the voting.
Hey, but wait a second. Bart doesn't particularly care for Sakari. I'm surprised Sakari Chow isn't running for state senate or state rep or sheriff or dog catcher chasing that pension.
He is running for state rep.
He is running for state rep. So surprise, surprise, he's running for state rep, Bart, in the Lower Highlands.
And I like giving predictions. He'll win.
No.
I'm just giving a prediction.
No, I'm not taking a side. I'm not going to take a side in the race on the air right now.
Yeah.
I don't.
You think Tara's going to get it?
I think Tara's going to get it. Tara's been out every weekend already. He's out Friday.
Who's
Saturday,
got the
and
Democratic
Sunday.
machine? Who has those 300 votes? Who's got that? Whoever has those 300 votes.
That's
is gonna
also
win.
a good question. But as
If I
far
had a
as
bet, it'd be Tara.
as far as the door game goes, maybe Sakari's working. I don't know. I don't live in the district. I do know that Tara has literally been out knocking doors already, starting at least 3 weeks ago, and he's going Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I think it's hard to beat hard work. So we'll see.
So somebody
If
tell me
Sakari works, I think they're both. I do. I think they're both good candidates. I
John,
think they're both good candidates.
I want to go
hard
back
work.
to the.
John, just for a second. He was wanting to get in. Go ahead, John.
Marco, apparently he's going to run for something. I don't know what, but he's rabble-rising on Facebook, so we'll see.
We'll see.
Tom,
Candy.
go ahead,
All
buddy.
I was going to say is, let's do I love playing pretend games.
That would.
Let's
handle
just say Sakari he's running, wins. Corey runs, wins.
Oh boy.
And they both decide they don't want to do both jobs. Is there nobody, they ran unopposed. So is there a special election for
Yeah.
those seats? Is there? Okay, that's what I want to know.
Yeah,
I don't think they would give up their seats in the council, but if they did, then they have the right to if they won. They have to be a special election.
Well, and you're
I
talking
got
about
two
they wouldn't
comments
get-
on,
they wouldn't get sworn in
on
in
YouTube.
January, and then what
Yeah.
happened in November?
If you have a driver's license, you are registered to vote. No, you're not.
But you have to click the button. If you click the button, you'd be registered. It's an option.
If
So
you
it-
have a, what button, pull your driver's license out and show me the button.
no. When you go through to
I got a second comment, then you can gabble all
Okay.
you want. I like everyone on the council that isn't a yes sir person, which is only to say I like 3 or 4 city councilors. I agree, there are some, we do still have some rubber stamps on the city council. Listening to you, Sean.
Okay, on registering to vote, when you get your driver's license or renew your driver's license or replace a lost driver's license, which I just did, there is a checkbox that you click, that you could click while you're going through the process, that says, would you like to register to vote or update your voter registration with the information you provided? Click, done. Or don't click, not done. But it's not, you don't have to do it when you get your driver's license, but it's a very, very easy option. It's remarkably easy
I saw
at
that,
this point
yeah.
to register to vote with the automatic option. Every time you provide all the information you would need to provide if you went to the Secretary of State's website to register to vote, you can, hey, look, I just gave it to the RMV. Yeah, share it with them. Register
Sure.
to vote.
Sure.
It's easy.
yeah, it's in Lowell, the way we get elected is you gotta make sure you have all the components, meaning your family name, family history. That's how it was. It's different now. When you had to run citywide, I mean, you had to have connections.
With the other thing that's changed with citywide, right? And I was thinking about this on the drive in. I'm curious what the two of you say. I'm curious what John says too. Is that when you were running, a field of 15, 16, 19 people, they'd drop one, right? Because you only have times 2. But for 9 seats, when you were just running a giant group and you picked 9 of them and you moved on, I think, one, they did have to get more votes. I think the family name mattered more. I think you needed more money.
Not money.
But you were also you weren't running against anybody. And I think what changed, and I think you saw it this election cycle more than than the last one. I think you saw it the first time in 21. I don't really think you saw it in 23. I do think you saw it in 25. Is that a head-to-head race? I think there are more hurt feelings on every side of this than there were when people were running at large. And I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. I think it's just a reality of a head-to-head race. I think they're a different animal.
Yeah, different time.
Well, I think
everything.
also the one good thing about district representation, and I think we've talked about this before, is that Corey Robinson, Eric Gitchia, Eric ran citywide before when it was the old. He couldn't win. He won in a district race. Corey Robinson, could he win a citywide race? I mean, there's other ones. Sean, do you think you could have run?
I wouldn't have run.
All right, you wouldn't have ran. So citywide.
Well, because look at it's the fun, and I said this early on because a lot of people in my district liked my opponent too, and they would, why are you running against? And I was like, well, no. At first, I was like, well, I'm not running against. I'm running for the city council, and then I realized,
I hate that when people say that, yeah.
but you realize that when you're in a head-to-head a district race, and it is you and an opponent, you are running against somebody,
Yeah.
whether you want to say it or not. You are.
Right.
And I got to that point, but it took me a couple months to realize, oh well, this is what it is. But if you want to run for a district seat, minus say Belvedere is an expensive race. You can look at the OCPF spending for the last cycle, and you'll see just how much money both candidates spent. But Sidney Liang, $2,000. I spent $2,000.
Coming in now?
Yeah.
In a district race. In a city council district race, your mailing your voter universe is only for me it was.
Everybody's got to slide their chair to Sean. Your chair's got to be touching your neighbor's chair. Okay, now it's
So,
fiddle around with the camera.
For me, so in a district race, at the outset, I looked and I said, yeah, I can start this for about $1,500. I can't do the whole thing on $1,500, but I have $1,500, and I can start a campaign with $1,500 of my own dollars and see where it goes. It was doable. In a city council race, you look in a citywide race, you look right off the bat. Open it up. All right, Eric gets you right before running. He's got 20 grand sitting in the bank, and he's probably got the least amount. I think he has the least amount of money out of all of them because he donates it to every youth league and theater group, and if there's 8 kids standing together and they got a 501c3, he gives them money. But you got
All that said, I got 3 texts.
okay, but $20,000 is more than 15.
So illegal aliens can register to vote in our elections when they get a driver's license. That's a question from Bart.
Oh, boy,
Francisco Maldonado says, I agree with the text that you are automatically registered to vote in Massachusetts. That's how the printers make lots of money. I don't think you're automatically, but we'll find out when Will visits us. Good morning. It doesn't matter until you clean up the mail-in voting. The rest is just bull fertilizer. That's from Jay. Back over to you, Bobby.
Yeah, when we talk elections, the way I look at it, kid, one of my favorite people, Marty Laurie, is from my neighborhood, and he was a mailman, and he knew everybody at every door over his career. It was a great job to run for city council, and Marty taught me that this is how you have to do it. Here's a voter book. The people that vote. I'm not going to do that. You have to do it. That's definitely how you get to the 7,000 voters. That's all we get. I'm just giving you rough numbers. Probably 70,000 registered voters, and we can't get 7,000 or 8,000 out to vote. Drake, it last couple of years, then you had voting.
Oh, God,
on,
it was awful.
Yeah, you had voting on Saturday.
Bobby, once we
I
start
don't
to
mean that.
hear, finish your thought.
Yeah, and this is it, since we're on elections, a good friend, Phil Tebow from Drake. You said something to me last show, Tom, that made me feel good. You said you think this time he might have it. That's the way you said it to me.
And now a week later,
Comment from the audience. I love Mr. Hoey. We all do.
who doesn't like Bob Hope?
Excuse
I wanna
me,
go back to what you said about-
excuse me, Sean, we're gonna have plenty of time. I hope you're staying till 8, right?
I think so.
Okay, great.
Freddie's.
I want to introduce a real good friend of mine. I used to love to visit him at his store. You always were welcome, and we had great conversations. And I live totally on the other side, really, of Lowell. But Fred Bahou.
Belvedere. You live in
Fred
Belvedere.
Bahou, yeah.
He's in South.
But
Other people in Belvedere might call it Lower Belvedere.
It's a joke.
Of course it's a joke, I get it.
But and when I met Fred, it was an area that a friend of mine lived in, Timmy Fallon. And after that, I met this kid, Eric Gitcha. I didn't know who he was, but he'd pop in the store and we'd all be in there, talking about issues and everything else from sports to horses, whatever you liked. It's a great guy, Fred Bahou. And Fred, you're doing a bang-up job, man, on the school committee.
Thank you. So
Keep
I'm
up.
here,
Yeah.
I'm hearing like I was hearing the third party, but I am here and I'm excited to be on, so thank you very much for having me on. Those were good days, Bobby, at the Windsor shop.
Yeah.
Having people pass through, have a cup of coffee, everybody holding court in their own way.
Freddie, was there a backdoor escape to get out of there? Like you were standing there.
If we had to, if there was a fire going on, I would have had to remove, open up the bulkhead and remove all the barriers.
So there was
that
no
were
way out of there?
I could have got you out of there in about 2 minutes
Listen,
if I had to.
I have
Because
to be.
I was there, chit-chat, when somebody's walking across the street, and the other guy was in there, says, oh, I gotta get out of here, here comes King Kong.
Yeah.
Oh, jeepers.
We owned a variety store ourselves in the South Lowell area, but Fred's store had wrestlers just like I did. I hung around with wrestlers. They were the best friends to have, They didn't even have to throw a punch to beat somebody up. It was just a great crowd you had.
All the wrestlers hung out at the Windsor shop.
Yeah,
Exactly right.
without a doubt.
The Fullers, the Murphys, the
Yeah.
Fallons,
Yeah.
the Yachties, the McQuaids,
When I
the
was
Hoeys.
Fred, when I was on the school committee, I used to drive a taxi or Uber for 3 or 4 years on the side. And every time I met a great little technical high school student, I'd say to him, Mr. Fallon, and of course everybody knows Mr. Fallon, tell him I did that to his nose. You know, he bent his nose or broke his nose years ago. I always tried to hit him in football, junior football. We'd play against the Highlands. Tough kid. And the McQuades, it was unbelievable. And
No doubt.
wrestling, that's why I have a nephew, Patrick Hoey. He was the best wrestler in our family. Me, I never made it past freshman
Hey,
year.
rolling back to elections,
Anyways.
don't you think with the 70 questions on the ballot, that's going to draw a lot of voters in to vote?
I think they're gonna have to bind the ballots, right? Are they gonna use binder clips, or are we gonna do big staples?
I have no idea how many questions are actually on the ballot.
There's a lot.
I heard 12. I read recently
It's
12.
like California.
12 got approved. And I don't know, because I thought there were more people out there trying to get signatures for even more questions. But for some reason, the other day I was reading, one of the newspapers,
I think
and it was indicated that there were going to be 12 questions. But they're all non-binding. That's what makes it completely,
Well, even the binding question to audit the state got
Look
ignored.
at that. That's what a waste of time. I was
Hey.
going to say that.
I'll say this.
Because if they're, anything
This is what
non-binding,
pe-
we're not going
this
to
is
get
what
our
people are
72% choice, right?
This is what people are doing. Families, everybody. They're looking at their phones. And have we seen an increase in people coming out to vote? I don't think so.
Well, but the
No,
problem
absolutely.
with the 12 ballot questions. I'm sorry, and people at the state have complained about this, but I'm not running for anything at the state, so I can criticize them too. I criticize everybody. It's,
Well, right
it's,
now
it's
you're
my
not running.
character.
Right
all
now you're not running for anything.
I'm no. The day I stop just criticizing people is the day I'm done. Okay, it's why I don't mind when people are mean back to me. It's like it's the game. But if I'm the Speaker of the House, right? If I'm the Speaker of the State House, if I'm the President of the Senate, and we had maybe a dozen questions this year. How many did we have last time? How many did the time before that? At some point, if the state is trying to govern themselves like we're at a town meeting and we're doing rule by plebiscite, it probably means you're a fairly ineffective legislator, right? Like you're running a bad house. If you are doing so poorly at your job of, hey, what do? We do all the laws. That's what we do. We're the lawmaking body. And you've got people getting thousands of signatures because not for like a popular, oh, well, this is the one thing. And obviously, the politicians wouldn't want it. But a dozen? Really? A dozen?
I got a comment from YouTube.
Out of your job.
Non-binding is a waste of time. Is meaning the collie question.
There you go. But that one was binding, correct?
I don't.
We made it a binding vote because we went out to polls and ultimately
Where's
we
the
didn't
school?
build at Collie.
Where's the school?
We built downtown, so that one we made binding because we were grasping at straws. The vote of the council was 6-5 to vote to build it at Collie, and then the following week they came out with an idea of, hey, let's put this on referendum ballot.
The problem.
If you recall, right,
was-
Bob?
Yeah,
The,
I definitely recall. I could go into it, but
That's one
I
we
don't
don't
want to.
forget.
I don't want to go down that road right now. I was enjoying the part about voting because Phil Tebow obviously is on my mind. He's running in Drake at Tom.
Yeah,
And
I said that a week
and
ago
then-
that I think Phil could win this time. But this
when
last
it-
week or so, all of a sudden, there's this new candidate, fresh, new, never ran before for office, and all of a sudden there's, I'm exaggerating, 1,000 signs up in Drake, but a lot of signs she's put up over the weekend. She's a fresh new face, and that's why I think sometimes people are looking for that. There's
I'm
another.
rolling with Phil. I don't care.
There's another incumbent that's running, Heather Santiago Hutchins, who I think is safe, but I think Phil could have a chance at it. But he's going to have a fight against this new candidate, I think.
Our friend, and I hope I'm speaking right, John Zimini. I believe he finally. I've seen more about him on Facebook, and I think he feels good about Phil and that,
Oh, he's a good friend
that
of
girl
his.
you just
Yeah.
mentioned. That girl you just mentioned.
Yeah.
I think he even backed
Both,
her.
and a lot of people who in a million years I never would think would support Heather, the other incumbent, are supporting her. People that were first time she ran would never have voted for her. And they, some. So it's good. That's good. And she's a very good under the under the radar, very non-controversial, very non-political type of candidate. So.
Well, Tommy,
And
being
she's
a
got one
seasoned
term,
Drake-a-teer,
correct?
This would be. She's running for her third term.
Oh, okay, so
Yeah.
she's got 2 terms.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Tommy, how do they get the word out in Drake that it's voting day?
Like I think I might have told you, the week of the 20th, they'll start putting out those signs, letting people know it's early
Who's
voting.
the they?
The town.
The town? We'll put out early voting signs.
What do you call it? The big.
I hope they
town-
talk to Mr. Golden. That'd be nice.
In Drake, I think they set like a signal fire. They send out a couple pigeons.
It's effective.
And I want to see.
They
I
paint
wa-
it-
I-
paint
I-
them on the-
I
on the
wanna
cows
see.
over at Shaw
I
Farm.
want to see, and I want to compare it this time. I want to see how many more people voted because if they're out. Because I don't think it. I don't
I
think it
agree
helps.
with
Is it on a Saturday? Is it still a Saturday?
Saturday, yeah.
It's still a Saturday. Is
Yeah.
that the second Saturday of May, if I remember
First
correctly?
Saturday of
It's
May.
the first Saturday.
May 2nd.
Okay.
Yeah.
The
So,
district I
Coming up
live,
quickly.
the
Yeah.
district I live in votes. They vote.
From Bart, so the voters have 12
Well, yeah.
questions to vote on that
Belvedere,
legislators will ignore. Sounds great.
But let's go back to those questions. Diane DeZoglio, an absolute joke. That poor girl, what she's been through, what she did. The voters voted for it, and they keep bucking her and bucking her and bucking her. It's a shame, and including our local reps. I'm sorry,
But so including our local reps, but I do think so I grew up in Methuen. DeZoglio had a sign in my parents' yard the first time she ran for state rep. I'm not gonna be careful. She does sponsor the softball league that my mother runs, so she's not watching the show this morning, so I'm just gonna say it anyway. The first time she did it, yeah, I voted for the audit. I voted for the audit again. I think I voted for her the first time too. She's kind of acting like a clown now too, though. She is. So you're telling me, and this is what got me. She comes down to Sakari's kickoff, right, to run for state rep. Oh, he's going to support the audit. Now, I'm not going to knock Tara or Sakari on anything else they'll vote on. We know how Tara voted in the audit. It was a no. I think that was wrong. Awful vote. Sakari is the same guy. Hey, can we have an independent lawyer to review what's going on with the senior center? No. Oh, well, can we have any oversight at all of the city man? No. Hey, 74% of the city voted a non-binding referendum. We want to popularly elect the mayor. Do you support that? No.
He sounds like a rubber stamper for
And so you think
manager.
so I'm not saying that he would be a bad rep, whatever, but on this issue of is he going to hold the Speaker of the House any more accountable, support the audit any more than your current rep on that particular issue? I don't think the voting record would indicate that, but you still get DeZoglio down here. At least she didn't sing the song, but she comes down because it's turned into this.
Well, Sean, I'll invite
You
him
know,
to come
her friends instead of their
some
friends.
Tuesday, and you can argue with him.
But truthfully,
What
I
I want
agree
to
with you.
say, what I want to say about that election, don't forget he got snuffed by Karen Casella. That's a tough race.
He did.
Yeah, it's a tough race, and people seem to come out for that
Karen
race.
beat the machine.
Yeah, she really did. It was incredible. But so, and then he was mayor. I thought for 2 years. I wasn't really interested, but he was the mayor of Lowell for a term.
He did a good job.
Yeah, and he has the sidekicks that they have a lot of power in Lowell. Couple of people. Just watch the people around them and watch their money. Simple.
Bobby, I don't care
Yeah.
what your favorite ice cream is. I'm not changing flavors. And you tell me who you're going to vote for, I'll listen.
Yeah.
Unlikely going to change my mind.
I
I got this
can't-
text.
It
I got
doesn't-
this
but it
text from
doesn't.
Jay. I got this text from Jay.
that was
The
fine.
best way to fix everyone's political problem is to move away from this crooked, corrupt state we live in. That's from Jay.
I like good schools.
and that's the big deal, truthfully, Jay, that 72% of the people did vote for this audit, right? And DeZoglio, truthfully, she exposed what the state legislature has to look like,
agree
what
with you.
what the Senate looks like, what the state reps look like, and the
How
whole
crooked they
truthfully,
really are.
the whole organization. And
But
she's
not
made them,
Vanna. She's not crooked.
she's made them look like a joke. She really has. So
Not
she's
Tara.
beating this drum before they ended up really realistically running somebody against her, because that was the end game goal for them, right? She got this audit passed. She walked across the state. God bless her. She walked to Springfield and into Worcester and right down Route 90, Ludlow, and towns that I don't even want to drive my car into. And she's walking across the state, trying to push this thing
Right.
through. Ultimately, she pushed it through, and then people were running for state rep like Tara Hong.
Yep.
And, he's like, oh, yeah, I will back that audit.
And he should've.
As Andrew Kolar said, I will back that audit. As I'm trying to think, Roddy Mum, I don't know what Roddy said. He might have said he would back that
Right.
audit. I'm not sure what Roddy was saying. But then once Tara got in there, they
did.
put their arm around him, and they're like, "Hey, congratulations, you're one of us. Let's show you this wonderful office that just went vacant."
Right, and none of our
Freddie
reps
hit it right on the head.
none of our reps voted for it, and so I'm not. And I'm going to reiterate before
And
I
Rodney didn't vote for
and
it.
I was gonna say,
And
Rodney
I like
didn't vote
Rodney.
for it.
And I like Rodney,
Rodney didn't
but,
vote for
you
it.
know, because it's part of the in crowd.
And
the
so-
in crowd is pretty goddamn gross.
And
Let's
so
be real.
it is.
You
And-
know,
and so what
Mariano, Spilka, and everybody that
They're
follows
awful.
their leadership. And it's true. It's a very ineffective legislature.
It is.
Very ineffective.
In the reason, look, I threw the shot about the ineffective legislator. I agree with everything you just said. I think Tara was wrong to not vote for the audit. I think Rodney was wrong to not vote for the audit. I think Vanna was wrong to not vote for the audit. However,
Tommy, check your
On-
chair over to Freddie, will you? You're leaning out of the seat.
on the
Move over.
particular
Come on. You look good.
my issue with, and if it happened in Lowell, I guess I'm assuming it's happening other places too. And I get it. I would be frustrated at this point too if I were the auditor. However,
And DeZoglio's walking around the stage.
And she's walking
and
around
you
the
know
stage.
what? She's actually making a mockery out of them.
But-
she might be making a little joke out of herself,
Oh,
but
yeah.
she's making a true mockery out of them.
I
And
have
give her a lot of credit for that, because she's standing up to the establishment.
she is
Not much different than Eric would do.
my issue.
all right? Or you would do.
My issue is when I see the auditor come in and endorse a candidate who has a lot of strengths. He does. Sakari is a good candidate. I think he's done a good job as a counselor. I think he did a good job as the mayor. However, on the one issue,
Yeah, look at the camera.
sorry, I know. on the one issue of supporting the audit, I don't see a world in which there is any difference on supporting the audit between him and Tara Hong. I think neither one voted for it. I think both of their records, I think Tara voted directly against it. I think you look at how Sakari's voted on several other kind of accountability of leadership votes, and that's not a knock. It's the way a lot of politicians vote. It's the way a lot of people vote. This is a knock on DeZoglio, not a knock on Sakari. For her to come in and say, yeah, he's going to be my champion, and then she did the same thing in Lawrence with the current mayor. Guy's awful. Had a strong challenger. She comes out and supports the incumbent, who is crooked as they come. And I think the push for the audit is great. I think some of the choices that she's made locally in Lowell and around the Merrimack Valley are, I don't know. And I
got
think
two
using
texts.
the audit to push it is not right.
I
Going
got two
back to
texts.
it,
It's really good government to have issues on a ballot instead of researched and debated in the legislature. Is that the good way to make law?
No.
Isn't it the job of the legislators? The job of the legislators is to keep their seat. That's their the first thing they think is, what's it gonna take to keep this seat? Second text, never forget Flaherty, Finneran, DeMasi, DeLeo. Wasn't much better. He just didn't get caught. And the last text, excuse me. And don't forget how corrupt the media is. They are not holding the politicians in this state accountable. I agree with that. After watching President Trump do a briefing about what happened to capture that, to rescue our pilot yesterday, and it wasn't on News Center 5, 7, 11. Terrible. They pick and choose what they're going to. President Trump did a magnificent outflow of great information on how we rescued that pilot yesterday, and it didn't make any TV that I saw.
You know, a couple years back, I'm riding Ned Tarmey home from this show, John, and he goes, this Corey Robinson, he's going to be a state rep someday. I goes, what? You know, and then I heard Danielle McFadden came into play, and I heard her name out there for state rep. I think Corey has done a real good job on the city council to bring him some good numbers. I think he's going to do. I think he's the winner. And
Well, I
I
think
love to
that's-
say it early. Love to say it early.
The school will be a hot topic once they start with the layoffs. Don't lay off my sister.
Yeah, but just every issue he deals with, when he speaks about any issue, seems like it's all, he's done his homework.
but I want to bring up.
And I have to say, I don't mind making mistakes and call him Andy. Okay, because that's who I grew up with, his dad. One of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. And tough, too. It was a
He
tough
hung around
kid.
the Windsor shop, too.
Yeah, yeah.
So Sean, you
He,
brought up
he looks like he's 40,
you brought up
35.
you
He
brought up the
does.
mayor of Lawrence, Sean. You know, I don't know if you follow it or not. I only follow it because my wife who grew up in Lawrence reads the Tribune every day. He's in a little trouble down there. They're asking for a resign and everything on some type of taping incident or something. So I don't know
When's
what's
the last time a mayor in Lawrence resigned?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you guys
yesterday,
said fire trucks and ambulances.
It ain't
happening.
happening.
Boat.
Now let's go back to the audit for a second here. Now
It's the only town clerk I've ever visited in my life with there's a sign on the wall, "We are busy, do not bother us. Leave your money attached to your request in the box provided."
wow.
That was on the freaking wall in the
Lawrence,
city,
Massachusetts.
in Lawrence, Massachusetts, in the city clerk's office. Never saw that in my life.
There you go.
So going back to the audit, Bobby,
out.
former school committeeman, you're on the school committee integrated. You have your own finance people, but you are still audited by an independent auditor. Am I correct? Mm-hmm. As I am on the LRTA, I'm on the Drake Housing Authority, and I'm on the Lowell Bridge Club. We all also have an independent auditor, not the one that works for us. So there's nothing wrong with it. I don't know what they're afraid of.
Who pays the auditor?
Who pays what auditor?
Who pays this independent auditor?
I don't know what you
We
mean.
pay.
Oh, you're talking about.
We pay. Comes out of our budget.
See, in Lowell,
pay an auditor.
we've had a few issues in my lifetime. In one particular, since we're talking about this issue, is we'd send out for an auditor, and who would hire that person or that company. They were related. You know, this is when we wanted to get rid of Dr. Kafawi, which was a mistake, but I'm not going to get into that issue.
If I was
either.
Diana DeZoglio, I would step it up to a forensic audit, which is looking for criminal activity first. That's what a forensic audit does.
You know it's coming, the fraud stuff. Minnesota, right, Fred? All these, it seems to me, most of them are blue states having these big issues. In New York, going to look for billions of dollars. I can't wait. This mayor in New York is he's out of control. He really is. A state tax or something, you think of the future, and hopefully, I was wishing my dad left me something, but we left most of our stuff at Suffolk
Thanks.
Downs, Fred, Oh. Good morning. Welcome to City Life, and thank you for watching the Dawn Patrol. The first hour on Dawn Patrol, I always have a good time, but I always try to say, wait for the TV. I do. That City Life's on and what question I'm going to come up with. And I'll get to Sean in a minute. But I'm Bob Hoey, Tom Bomil, Fred Bahou, and Sean McDonough, and John McDonough's behind the camera. I'm happy what's going on in Lowell, especially the schools. And Fred, you've done a great job so far, because the schools have some pretty good issues. And if I'm wrong, correct me. But this is the way I'm getting the school committee. You had a big issue about 3 people getting pay raises that made maybe $180 grand a year anyways. And that issue had a little fight amongst yous, but at least you did the right thing and not lose those people. Those people are important. People don't realize it today. So you need people looking for grant money all the time, and
It's the core of the administration.
Oh, yeah, without
Right?
a
Ultimately-
doubt.
Right, ultimately,
And-
those three of the superintendents realistically run the school district.
But I'll end with this. This is my question. The vibe that I got is, I heard a lot of people, there's a lot of cuts at the high school, and I don't know all the different people that are getting eliminated, but what I thought the mayor came out and said the perfect thing. He says, well, all these people want to talk about these issues. Why don't we just go back to the drawing board? Let's step back a minute and think about everything again. Is that kind of the right thing to say? Because that's how I felt watching the meetings.
It's the right thing to do, right? At the end of the day, Bob, you've been on the school committee, right?
Yeah.
You go through the budget line by line. So we starting tomorrow night, we'll be going through the budget line by line. And we're gonna look at the whole picture globally. We're not gonna sit there and say, yes, we back you 100%, Mr. Superintendent. We did hire too many people during the pandemic with all of this ESSER money. We're basically balancing the whole school district to make it the most efficient that it can be. We're trying to do our very best to save as many positions as we can. But we're also looking for money that, could be put more towards keeping the teacher in front of the students. So it's going to be something that we have to work definitively, closely, and over the next 2 weeks, you're going to see us realistically give it a lot of time, effort, and patience, because it's not going to be an easy budget to go ahead and conclude.
I threw this out earlier. I think the issue that I would complain about if I was on the school committee would be the maintenance of effort agreement. Show me that you're taking this $40 or $50 million. Where's that all going? To see if the city's on the right side of it. I'm not saying they're not. Hey, you might find out. Wait a minute. You might find out that the city's doing above and beyond. That's my point. But clean that issue. You can get, what's his name there, Tom, from Centerville area, CAP. It's got his, I'm having a brain
Nutter.
block. Jerry Nutter.
Yeah.
Just talk about that. You'll drive him through the, crazy.
My favorite thing about Jerry Nutter is that I can say something 2 weeks ago and he can say, wow, you have no idea what you're talking about. And then if I just wait 2 weeks, he's going to write a worse version of what I said. He's just going to take it and write it in his column and be like, oh, I'm so smart. Oh, okay. Thanks, Jerry. You're doing great.
No, it's,
At the end of the day, we had at least three meetings in the past 12 months over the maintenance of effort.
great.
And truthfully, the city gave us the package, and believe it or not, I went through the 192-page report, line by line, and, brought some findings up in subcommittee meeting and shared it with the superintendent, the finance director. He then shared it with the city. He then shared it with, the city manager and the CFO and so on and so forth. And for some reason, it got real quiet again. So as much as you want to make it something to talk about, they're really doing everything they can not to go ahead and have that conversation. Mm-hmm. For instance, right, last year they were giving us $14 million, on the previous school year. Last year they cut us back to $10 million. We hemmed, we hawed, we fought, we went to the council floor, we made phone calls. They gave us $2 million of that $4 million cutback. So they gave us $12 million in free cash for the school district. Now they're offering us $12 million, and they said, don't come back for that $2 million next year. We're not giving it to you. Now they're offering us $12 million in free cash for the school district. Realistically, all of that is supposed to be based off the maintenance of effort, which truthfully, unfortunately,
They're back into the number.
is not being discussed. So they're trying to put that to sleep. That was nothing more than, just something that you could use and basically try to balance the city budget and feel what they could give to the school district. It's unfair. It's what we have to work with. And we can keep pounding on that as much as we want, but truthfully, it's falling on deaf ears.
And I heard your superintendent say this at the last meeting. And I'm at home and I heard them say, right now, we have more money than we ever did.
That's correct.
So when people hear that, that's what the city looks at. Well, look at all the money you have. But believe me, and this is just me speaking, we're not even really putting enough money in schools. Especially, I'm going to just throw it out there, and Sean, you could take over. I just believe we could do so much better with special education, meaning make sure these kids that are in real severe condition get what they need, because that's the type of city we are.
Sure.
We're a giving city, period.
We have more money than ever, but we have so many more costs, right?
Yeah.
Our health insurance has gone up 9%. Our pay rate has gone up 3%. Our plant services have gone up. So ultimately, as much as we have more money than we had last year to be level funded, unfortunately, we're still $9 million in the hole. And that's where our crux is in. However, the superintendent is, his proposal on the budget is beefing up what you just mentioned, special education. He's hiring more special education paraprofessionals. He's actually transferring the paraprofessionals that we have. We're moving 33 paraprofessionals from the traditional classroom to the special education classroom. We're hiring more teachers. We're cutting some teachers, but we're hiring more special ed teachers. So he is focused on the special education of our most, fragile students that realistically need the most support.
That's why, excuse me, Sean, I'll throw it right to you. That's why I feel the high school with the freshman academy, get them out of there as soon as you can and keep this building for us, for the schools. And then you could maybe bring the administration there, save $400,000, get them out of the Bon Marché building, right? Things like that. And use that building for special ed. I mean, you got some pretty severe cases in Lowell High School. And you don't want them up in elevators that might not work. I hear all those things. But I haven't been in the school. And I'm the one, I'm a downtowner.
You want to come
You
by
could
for a
throw
visit.
eggs at my car. It doesn't matter to me. It really doesn't, because you have a vote. I had a vote. I was with Mr. Senator Ed Kennedy. He was the mayor, and he knew he wanted that high school not in his area.
Oh, he lives in the same neighborhood.
I'm just
as you.
saying, I was with him. I was with him. I don't want to deny, I was with him. I was a big part of what he accomplished with getting the high school and the money that he did get. There's a lot of things.
That $40 million, right, on that added material cost,
Yeah.
that he was able to go to the State House, that Eric pointed out, but ultimately Eddie did go to the State House and get that $38 million back for us from the state, which was a real big deal.
You know who else
You
got
gotta
a
give
lot
him
of
credit
money
on
from
that
the state, Tom, was Eileen Donahue. She got a lot of money
Yeah.
brought into this area. And then they come into Lowell and we'll make you a city manager. Pretty easy. John ain't here right now. John would be saying
Thank
something.
God. So, just on the maintenance of effort, Bob, just before
Yeah.
we leave, right? So, because I went through it too, and I'm sure Fred went through even closer, and they had a subcommittee meeting on it. I just have
3 subcommittees.
three
but anyway,
subcommittee.
But anyway,
I can only go to so many people's meetings that aren't my own.
you had a job.
You're gonna be in divorce
did.
court, man.
But the good news is all these meetings start after Declan goes to bed, so I'm still okay right now.
Oh, okay.
Until he gets a little older and wants to stay up till 7, then I'm screwed. But so in the maintenance of effort, so one of the most there's a few real egregious items in here. One of the ones that stands out to me is that in the current agreement, the school department is charged for 43.44% of the MIS department's operating budget. Just regardless, not for any particular service, not for any. What are this about? 43.44%. So in the 25, the school year 25 report, right? I've got total wages 1.2 million, expenses 1.7 million, total 2.9. The school paid I'm going to round up to 1.3 million, 1.29 million of the MIS operating department. And what's happened is we want to talk about ESSER funds and, oh, well, the schools added ESSER, the schools added, okay, great, sure, yeah, they did, everyone, and we added ARPA positions. And the city has pulled some of these ARPA positions and some of these ARPA expenditures into the general fund. MIS is a huge area of this, the 311 system that some counselors love and some counselors don't talk about. But 311 has been pulled in. MIS's budget, not just because of 311, but MIS as a department has seen dramatic increase in wages over the last 2-3 years. Now, the schools don't even use 311. They don't even use it. They have school dude.
Let's be real, okay? Ultimately, the city is being told by the state that they should be giving the schools $67 million.
Mm-hmm.
They're giving us $12 million. So they're stating that the maintenance of effort charges
Correct.
to the schools, snow plowing,
Right.
heat,
MIS.
MIS, the safety, the crossing guards.
Well, the safety,
hold
I
on,
know.
you know, and some costs are $55 million this year, $52 million last year, $47 million the year before. Yeah, you know, I mean, I hate to say it, but I will. It's smoke and mirrors, okay? And nobody knows, and realistically, it falls on deaf ears. And, you know, ultimately, we try to be the very best partners with the city that we can. So we have $12 million in free cash out of the $67 million that we were hoping we would get. And we're going to have to work with that.
How many employees work on Merrimack Street, the school? Do you know roughly?
111.
I was going to go 105.
How many?
Good guess. Yeah.
No, we had it within our packet because
Okay.
there was the response about office
Okay,
space.
I was
Yeah.
going to go with 105.
I think it was
It's
111.
weird
fine.
that you guys don't have your own city space. You have to rent this place.
You know, Bobby just came up with a great idea. Let's use the freshman academy. Let's stop
There you go.
paying.
Yeah.
You know, let's stop paying a $500,000
Exactly.
annual fee at the
It's a lot
the
of
top
money.
2 floors of the
Well,
Bon Marché building with.
Yeah.
You know, realistically, single pane windows and, you know, high heat in the summer,
We had a
very
response.
cool in the winter. You know, it's not a very efficient building.
You should look
You
into
know,
that. That'd be
so
a great idea, Bobby.
yes, so we're going to, you know, hopefully be doing something to get out of that very high cost
Yeah,
lease.
that's
We
a lot of
had a
money.
we had a response. We had a response
It is a
in
lot of money.
last week.
That's
It is a
coming
lot
from a
of money.
Drake guy.
One at a time.
Right.
One at a time.
We-
One at a time.
We had a response in last week's packet from the manager, which included a letter to the superintendent as well as a potential breakdown of some savings, not on the freshman academy, but on the old Align building on Market Street that the city bought last year. There weren't a lot of details in it, but it just kind of said, like, you know, initiate the conversation with the school department and the school committee about looking at that space as another option. So I think the freshman academy is an option. It sounds like we're looking at perhaps that Align building being an option. I'm sure there are other options that we don't even know of yet.
Well, I
but-
think when you're on the school committee, I think the issue that, I'm pretty sure Ed Kennedy started this issue too, you could correct me if I'm wrong, was space for special ed people. Like, you know, you can go to a certain school, it costs $350,000 for one child out in Chelmsford.
That's
You know, and I used to fight over that because you're not going to ever tell me that certain people didn't get help from a state rep. That must be the worst feeling in the world when your child needs it and someone else gets it because of political connections. I fought a lot of that stuff, and I think the school committee's doing great in that direction because if we can keep them kids in the city. And Fred, correct me, the school you helped the city buy, I'm sure you were there, John Dark
Yes.
in Pawtuckaville?
And that's going to be the benefit of the St. Jean d'Arc School, that we are going to move out of the 80 school in Chelmsford and stop paying that $450,000 per year. Move over to the St. Jean d'Arc School, be able to offer better services for special education students. So ultimately, they may not have to go out of district for special care because we're going to be using the St. Jean d'Arc building for that, which will be called the Sapasaris building, and that should be opening. We're really expecting it to open in September of 2027, the exact same time that the high school will be completed as well. So our school district is going to take a big, a different shape or a different look, because the freshman academy is going to be vacant. Lowell High School building project, cross our fingers, is hopefully going to be done, and St. Jean D'Arc building is going to be done.
I got 4 comments from the audience.
It's Bart again.
The health insurance, I can scroll up and see who it is. No, they never signed. This person never signs. The health insurance in the city is under one company. Now, WellPoint, there used to be 5 or 6. The state has limited competition. They have complete control over the cost. You only have levels of cares to pick from. I no longer can pick an insurance company. Moving right along. The Bon Marché building, is the Bon Marché building handicap accessible? To my memory, yes, it is.
Yes.
Fred, how solid do you think the superintendent is in his position? And can you give us any insight about Connie Martin?
No, as far as Connie Martin goes, she's going through whatever she's going through, and hopefully we'll see her soon enough. The superintendent is working hard with his administration. Our absenteeism rate is down. Our chronic absenteeism rate is down. Our graduation rate is up. We met with the Commissioner of Education yesterday at Lowell High School. We are going to be implementing vocational programming. We're thinking this upcoming September, we have to go through a walkthrough with the vocational portion of the education group at DESE. So things are really progressing rapidly. We're about to open the St. Jean D'Arc School. We're working really diligently on. We're working on buildings, adding roofs, adding air conditioning, adding windows, and so on and so forth. The school district's moving in a really rapid pace, at a great pace, and the superintendent is on top of all of it. So, to answer your texter's questions, things are progressing pretty well, very well.
So my takeaway from what you said, he's solid in his position.
Right.
That's my takeaway from what you
yes.
said.
Let's
Okay,
go.
another text. The old schools just need new windows. Get that, Fred? The old schools just need new windows. Where can we find a good window guy? That'd be Fred Bahou.
You're looking at it, but I can't sell the windows to the
Sean,
city.
that was from Bart.
Okay.
All right, excuse
I
me.
like Bart. I was just teasing.
Excuse me just for a second, because I want to stay on the superintendent. I spent around 7 years on the school committee, exactly 7 years. And to me, he earned being the superintendent. The way he was a principal up there at the Daily School was incredible. And the class that he brought to the students and the discipline and the way they acted, and you'd run into them at the K-Stucklos Knowledge Bowl, let's say, they'd be in a suit and a tie. And it's funny, Fred don't have his tie on, and that's fine. John lets you get away with it.
Him and get you.
No,
Him
John.
and Lee get you.
Oh, yeah, and he'll get you. But if it's Tom or myself, where's your tie? No.
It's a
It's just,
volunteer position.
yeah,
Right?
yeah, but
Put a
it's
jacket
just,
I'm gonna get in trouble tomorrow after the show. Thanks, Bobby.
yeah, we just, and I go back to when you want to talk about city council and school stuff. I sit with, I don't anymore. I haven't been on Thursdays in a while. But Sam Chase, someone that's very good with numbers and real estate and all that stuff, you get a good bang for your buck when you live in Lowell. Now, do we make some mistakes? Go look at across from Enterprise Bank. Look at the elevator shaft
Oh,
they are
God.
in.
Oh, they got the wood up now, too.
Oh, it's going to be so many people living there. And then they're going to put a...
Where are we?
Hey, and then put a roundabout.
Oh.
Put a roundabout in. I mean, come on, that area. That's going to be some
So
fun
Freddie,
stuff.
Liam Skinner, has he got a solid support of the school committee? Because we know how Lowell goes through superintendents. Has he got some solid support? I hope he does.
Let's say this: the 3-year contract expires in about 6 months. He's going to have to say whether he wants to be there or not, and the school committee's going to have to make a decision on
And-
whether they feel the school district's going in the right direction.
So
Yes, sometimes it's political, unfortunately, in the city of Lowell. I think others on the school committee think that the school district is going in the right direction. So I like to think he's going to be there
Okay.
for a
Because
long
we know how you.
Do I know? For sure? Well, you know, in Lowell, the wind blows.
Yeah, oh, God.
Some conspiracy happens, or some
God.
conspiracy theory happens,
Yep.
and then
It
all
all
of a
changes
sudden
overnight.
it all blows up.
If I could, because I don't have to sit on the school committee, so I can just throw the rock, and I'm going to.
At me right now?
No,
Let's go.
not at you.
Let's go.
I'm sure I could
Take it
find one
outside.
for you.
One at a time, one at a
If-
time.
if-
What you're
if-
looking at, this is the
Oh
Heinz.
God! Every time I try to.
Heinz project right now. Oh, Sean, you hate. All right, God bless you. Sometimes you do have diarrhea of the mouth. Sometimes just let it go for a second. This is the Heinz project. It's going up, and the elevator shaft Bob was talking about this gray thing right here. And it looks like Barclay's not using their generators this morning. Back over to you, Sean.
Are you sure? Bobby
Yes.
might
Go
want.
ahead,
Bobby
buddy.
might have a
One
comment.
at a time. Go ahead.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Sometimes
So-
you get stuck on play.
I think I've spoken for like 7 minutes this morning.
Oh, no.
So, on the school committee and with the question of the superintendent, because I think that's what we were talking about, I think, yeah, Lowell's law, Lowell's political, whatever. I don't think there's a conspiracy theory. I think it's been talked about on the floor, and I think you have a member of the school committee who plays himself as the union guy, and the UTL seems to go to and say, wow, can you help us? We hate giving 3% raises to 3 competent administrators who perform a core function. And they say, well, we don't know what the budget is. We don't want teachers' cuts. And then that same school committee member turns around and says, so, Mr. Superintendent, it's been a year now, and you still haven't hired Ed Davis's company to do a security audit. I don't like that. Why won't you hire my friend to do a security audit? So we're speaking out both sides of our mouth, right? And do I think that member, who everyone who watches City Life knows who I'm talking about, do I think that person supports the superintendent? No. Why do I think they don't support the superintendent? Because the guy won't set money on fire to have his friend, this other company come in and do some silly audit of the doorknobs. So it is what it is.
When they hired the superintendent, right, there was, I believe, three of the school committee people that voted to go search the world for a superintendent. This is before we hired Liam Skinner. And then the rest, whoever, you want to put it all together, you'd have to look into it. But whoever put him in charge went and helped the whole system. The 1,200 teachers, the 400 paras, everybody, because this guy works. Oh man, I caught Liam Skinner all the time, 7, 8 o'clock at the daily school, every night of the week. And discipline, oh my God, it's not reform school, but discipline, but those kids respected people.
I'm getting texts with snowing in Drake. It's not snowing in our section of Lowell. So, back to you, Bobby.
Yeah, and I mean, I could get into all types of school issues. I just like what we've done so far, talking on the show, talking on patrol. The schools, they got some issues. I mean, who doesn't expect
Hey, look,
that?
before we get too far down the road, Sean, anything interesting in tonight's city council agenda?
So we have an executive session again for the senior
Secret squirrel meeting.
secret squirrel meeting. It should be. I'm looking forward to it. It's on the senior center again, which is that part's not a secret because it says why we're doing it. So I think that's going to be an interesting meeting. I'm curious to see what spin comes out, but it's going to be fun.
You have any motions in place?
I have a motion. So I have a motion. I have 2 motions. I have one should be non-controversial, but I always am wrong. With Councilor Mercier requesting the manager work with the appropriate department, blah, 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 to figure out a parking enforcement schedule in the school zones, not just the public school zones. Part of this comes out of a meeting with the Campbell Drive people about the sidewalk, but this is also a complaint that comes out of the Greenhound. It comes even not a city school, it's a charter school. On Jackson Street, Collegiate Charter, the neighbors are always complaining about the double, triple parking. We hired a lot of parking enforcement. They really seem to do a street and a half downtown. I think getting these guys out of just downtown will make some of the businesses feel better. It's also going to help the neighborhoods with the school problem. The other motion, I want to know, there was a story in the Sun, so I would have put it in anyway, but the Sun says there's been no fines. I'm hoping the Sun is wrong. I'm asking the city manager to provide a report of any fines that have been assessed at 169 Bridge Street, which is Mass Mills, in relation to the disrepair of a couple of their buildings that has resulted in bricks that fell on the Riverwalk and closed that down 2 years ago. There's really been no work done. So,
I heard, Freddie, you say that the school committee is starting to review the budget tomorrow night?
That's
Line by
correct.
line?
Line by line.
So my question is, Sean, is the city council gonna go line by line?
I sure hope so.
You don't know.
I will support going line by line. I know the past couple of years, the recommendation from the city has been not to go line by line, and that usually passes.
Oh, yeah.
I will be
Well, now,
voting.
it's a different council now.
It's a different council now. I'm supporting line by line. I'm going to hope that 6 of my colleagues also support line by line.
Well, that's what Eric Gitchie supported before. Go line by line and
Yeah.
it got voted down.
Back in the bus up to Sean's issue about parking, it's low tide on that issue. It's gonna get higher and higher and higher tide. When you have an administration that is gung-ho on building, and the hell with parking, it's only gonna grow.
Oh, yeah,
It's
no
gonna
doubt.
get worse.
Correct.
I believe we'll be close to 200,000 when I'm long gone, but it's gonna grow.
And Sean, I see in the Little Sun this morning that, I don't know if you saw tonight, your favorite establishment's in trouble again downtown. Yeah.
Oh, I hadn't seen it yet.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to look now. I love it.
We've come
The
a-
parking is an issue, and it's an issue over at the Greenout School.
Greenout is
I know it's a major issue. They have been before the school committee a number of times. It's definitely an issue down at the Lowell Collegiate Charter School, not the charter school, my mistake. The one downtown, not the Lowell Collegiate Charter School, LCCPS.
Yes, that one.
That one.
What's the location of that building?
That's on Jackson Street.
Okay.
Yeah.
highest scores in the city, I think, but
Right. I mean, there's even issues, the Maury's okay, but when we opened the St. Jean Dark School, that is smack dab in the middle of, the Centerville, Pawtucketville district. And there's some parking for cars there, but realistically, once we open it and we start having teachers there and paraprofessionals there, all of a sudden that's going to create an
Well,
influx. So
Freddie, look
that
at-
might even be a mention.
look at the Rogers
during your
School.
motion tonight.
Look at the Rogers School. The city built another building on the Rogers School site with 0 parking for teachers.
and then they have a friend that helps them out.
Well,
McDonough's Funeral
they're
Home.
good. They're good
You've
neighbors.
been good to people too, buddy.
And their hours are opposite mine, so I don't mind lending the parking lot to them. But it's just terrible.
I know it is. Right across the street. I got you. And the cars are everywhere.
What's
Exactly
the school in Mammoth Road? Is that the McAvenue on Mammoth Road?
Pawtucketville Memorial?
That's a tough one.
No,
Right
McAvenue.
on-
That's correct.
McAvenue.
I
McAvenue.
happened to
That's
notice, I
correct.
was going to Mass last week one morning at St. Rita's, and I noticed that some of the teachers, they must allow them to park in their parking lot out back. They must have an issue with parking over there too.
Sure.
I saw some of the teachers.
And the park across the
Yeah,
street.
yeah.
Right?
So, yeah,
The cars are an issue.
Yeah.
The cars are an issue.
Well, and we have we hired additional parking enforcement in the issue that I have, and I think a lot of my neighbors in downtown. So this is the fun. This is the double nature of this motion, right? The issue that a lot of my downtown neighbors have is, why is it that if I pull over, and I get it, it was an illegal 5 minutes, but it was only 5 minutes. Somehow this guy is able to get to me, get me a $25 ticket, and be on his way. And then you go out over by the Daily School, you get people complaining, oh, your cars park in the middle. They leave their car in the middle of the street. They're up on the sidewalk. They leave it there for 35 minutes. Over at the Greenhounds, you need a helicopter to get around the streets around
If
that
we have to
school.
send an emergency vehicle over there,
We're screwed.
It's not going to be,
Correct.
pretty.
And we don't have parking enforcement.
The
out
issues
there,
we
so-
have when you have blow-ins, that's a good one. I remember we used to say blow-ins. Wait till you see what moves into Lowell. I predict this too. I love to make predictions. I told you Corey Robinson is number one. I think he's going to be hard to beat. I think he's going to take Rodney's seat. I love to tell people that right now. But if you think about Lowell, just Lowell alone, don't look at the surrounding towns. We get a good bang for our buck. I'm just saying, I don't want my taxes to go up like anybody else, but I like what I get so far.
I got two comments from the audience. If you're done, Bobby.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You have to be real desperate to live in the Heinz project. the quality of life, that place will be amazing. You can count cars while playing outside. That's from Sean's friend Bart.
Thank you, Bart. I agree with you, Bart.
We could get Bart on the show some week.
Any plans on talking about bringing the budget decreasing? Sean?
I don't think I understand the question.
Okay, bringing the city's spending too much freaking money.
Yeah.
Our taxes are going up. Any talk on reducing costs? Are we just gonna applaud Mr. Golden's wonderful path?
I've been looking, and I think there are some options for the question is what cuts. It becomes when you first, it's a question of what level of service is provided and so for example, the rec department runs that summer program that included younger kids, and I'm blanking on the name of it right now, and the manager had proposed cutting that program, and it costs money like everything does, but the pushback from people in the city, a lot of people in the city, people who use the program, people who don't even use the program, no, really, this is like almost no money, and it's a very important thing for me. Okay, so that hopefully is coming back. And so will the budget go down? Yeah, that's a different question than are we funding residents' priorities? Are we spending first, before you say, can we make the budget go down to be less money than is
Somebody's tapping the
proposed?
microphone over there. You gotta knock it off.
The question is, are we using the money effectively? Are we using money that we are taking in efficiently in providing the level of service that residents of Lowell expect from their city? And if we're doing that and we still got money left, then yeah, I guess keep cutting. But I don't know. First, I think we need to make sure that we're actually providing not just jobs to our friends, right? Not just kind of programs for program's sake, but programs that are effective, positions that are effective and that are worth paying for, and that are worth paying.
The answer is
paying.
always no. Are we
Yeah.
offering enough services? The answer is always
Correct. It's
no. Am
always
I
no.
riding over potholes? 'Cause
Yeah.
I know that's a big issue, right? It's a major issue right now. Right? Was the snow removal good? No.
Right.
The
Spent a lot of
January
money on
snow
it, though.
removal that you spent a lot of money
Yeah.
on was very, I hate to say it, pretty ineffective.
It was bad.
Right?
In all fairness to Golden, Tommy Golden, we talk about like waste in this. How many new positions have been created since he's been there? I'm thinking none. I'm thinking there's probably. You think there's been a lot?
No,
created?
there are a
What?
few. Yeah, I don't have the number off the top of my head.
Okay,
All right, stop.
coming from Jay. In other words,
I
the
was
budget
talking.
will never go down, only up.
Yeah, I believe that.
So what I'm
And-
saying
and
is, my
common
point is-
sense.
Let Tom talk.
What
Go
I'm
ahead, Tom.
saying is that Eileen Donahue didn't create positions. Kevin Murphy, political rest home. Kevin Murphy didn't create positions for his friends.
Everybody
They
creates
did.
positions, yeah.
But that goes on to Golden. I mean, what I'm saying in all fairness, he probably does, or he filled positions with friends, yes, but so did Donahue and so did Murphy.
No
Right.
city councilor has the balls to ask the city manager, Mr. Manager, how many employees did we have for the city of Lowell total, including the bottle washers at the schools, every city employee? How many did we have 4 years ago, and how many do we have today? And I want it certified by you that you'll resign if it's wrong.
Well, I think Sean McDonough's not afraid to answer that question.
No, well, but I actually, because I'm not afraid to ask that question, but I don't know that question is actually is.
That'll prove if you have 1,000 more employees.
No, but I don't think it's not the number of employees. It's not.
That's the
It's
biggest
not even
cost.
how someone got the job. It's are they doing. Do we need to pay for the job? Is this a job that we think this is a function that in a tight budget or in any budget, this is something that we want and should pay for? Just like if you're doing your household budget and you're looking at what you spend on groceries, do you need to keep buying, steak, or should you cut back? Okay, there's a spot I can cut back.
Is it effective?
Is it effective? 1, is it effective? Is it necessary? 3, is the person, if it's a personnel thing, are the people that we
Did
have
I
hired?
miss 2?
What?
Did I miss 2?
He missed 2. That's okay.
Did I miss
Don't
2?
worry about it.
Oh, I took
we're
yours.
doing odd numbers only.
I took yours. What did I say?
One to
Whatever.
3,
Is
okay.
it necessary? You said, are they effective? I said
Effective.
yes.
That was number 2.
But Bahou got me with are they effective? And the third one, and I'm sure there's something else, is if it's a personnel thing, is the person in the position, is the amount of money we're paying for the position, are we getting, like Bob, you like to say, are we getting the bang for our buck here? Are we paying, is the person able to do their job regardless of if they got the job because they knew someone, if they got the job because they fell out of the sky, whatever. Are they actually doing the job? Because if they're not doing the job, I don't know why we're paying them to do the job. If we're not getting what we
Because they're
are paying,
connected.
but to me, the problem is whoever is in a given position needs to be effective at doing what they're paid for, regardless of how they got there or they got to go. That's where you have the problem. I don't mind someone hiring someone they know.
Most don't have a job description.
That's a problem.
Okay, so if you ask the manager how many people we had 4 years ago and how many people we have today, and then you can say, okay, I want you to reduce our employees by 1,000. And you give them that task, all the dead wood's going to be gone because there's no way the superintendent's going to tolerate the woman who goes into work every day and just closes her door and doesn't do a doggone thing, but sit at her desk all day.
But the problem...
That person's going to be gone. And every other administrator in the city of Lowell who sits back and does nothing all day will be gone. Because when you cut 1,000 jobs, you want good people in positions. Listening to your response.
I also want to make sure that we're funding departments that we need appropriately. And one that often flies under the radar. So in this show talks a lot about all the development going on and the silly project at the bottom of the connector and 100 other new housing or commercial any development. We don't have, you talk about total number of employees, but I don't know that we have enough employees in inspectional services, specifically in inspectional services. If you go from 115,000 people and you're on the way up and you're doing all this building, and I get pictures weekly. Hey, look at this trash pile. Hey, look at this trash pile. Hey, look at this giant hole in my ceiling. Hey, look at this non-conforming whatever. But that's also revenue generating because those come with fees, right? They come with fees, they come with fines. So there are positions, I think, like in inspectional services, your inspectors who perform a vital function, and they might need one more. I don't know if they need one more.
You have
inspector.
other people who work in that department that just say, good luck with that, and they don't do their job.
Correct.
And they cannot get fired.
That's a problem.
And it says
I'm not gonna win on this.
get rid of 2 police deputies from the budget, save $500,000.
No kidding.
Who's that from?
That's from
Our buddy.
nameless Francisco, who's
Yeah, I was gonna say,
vacationing in
he's
Puerto
in
Rico.
Puerto Rico.
Retired cop vacationing in Puerto Rico.
In Puerto
Another
Rico.
question, how many people did the manager fire for the poor performance? Poor performance. Last text of the group is, former state rep Kevin Murphy, I like that guy, was gifted the manager's job, as was Mr. Golden. He was way out of his league.
Way out of his league.
Well, same thing for Mr. Golden. It's taken him 3 years to get.
Same thing for Eileen Donahue.
I think Eileen did great.
Why is it different, John? Why do you think that McDonough...
I'm going to finish this, and I'll
All right,
tell you
go
about
ahead.
Eileen Donahue, okay?
All right.
He was way out of his league, talking about my friend Kevin Murphy, underqualified as city manager, that's from Bart. Eileen Donahue could call the State House and then answer the phone. Tom Golden calls the State House and he goes to voicemail.
That's why the speaker was at his
I was gonna say the same
inauguration.
thing. The speaker
That's
was
it.
at the
He could call the
inauguration.
speaker in a
No,
heartbeat.
what-
That was just to be sure
He can
the
call the
position
speaker
would
in
be
a
open.
heartbeat.
And to me, I like to be as truthful as I can. You know, you look at the Golden family related to the Rooks. His mother worked at St. John's. Every time I broke my arm or my leg, she would comfort me. She was unbelievable, the city manager's mother. And he's related to Andy Rourke and all those Rocks. Powerful area. So if he entered that race with Corey, that would be,
Oh, Danny?
yeah.
Yeah, like I say, but he was
I'm
taking
with
it.
Corey,
Yeah.
and I love Dan, but I'm with Corey, so
Yeah.
well, I can't wait for that.
But he's not running. He already said he wasn't
No,
running,
that's
so-
good, but I'm
Yeah.
telling you,
But at
that,
the end of the day,
that family's powerful.
the city manager is getting money for schools. He is getting money for windows. He is getting money for roofs. He is getting money for air conditioning. The money is coming into the buildings and the school buildings in the city of Lowell, and that's what I look at. So, you know, as much as you say he's not bringing in money, maybe they won't pick up the phone, it goes to voicemail. I'm seeing the schools being renovated. from state money. So
and I also
that's a
think-
good thing.
And I also think that Tom, I agree with you. I don't think there's anything except, and someone's gonna take offense, and I'm gonna get but I don't think there's anything exceptional. I think that the current city manager is average for Lowell. This is what we get in Lowell. It's what we have with Kevin Murphy. It's what we had with Eileen. It's how Eileen got the job. Whether Eileen did good or not, it's how she got the job. It's how everybody except I think Bernie Lynch has gotten the job. So that's all. I think you got to hold people accountable. I would much prefer that we either elected a strong mayor or alternatively did plan E the way it was meant and had a professional manager. It's incredible. You look at Chelmsford had Cohen for 20 years. Well, it's a town manager. It's different. Okay, but it was 20 years.
They had Lynch before him.
And they had Lynch before him.
Okay, Mark Kratman says, good morning, everyone. Great show and panel this morning. Enjoying the conversation. Have a great day. That's from Mark.
How are you, Mark? Good guy.
Well,
Good guy.
Paul Cohen already got another job up in New Hampshire somewhere.
Exeter, yeah. And I always thought that Paul would end up eventually in Lowell, but he was probably smart not to end up in Lowell.
You know, everything's connected. In the schools, everybody's related because teachers, that's the way it was. They get their children to become teachers. I told my two children, and they're in their 40s, hang around with kids and their mothers are teachers. I'm telling you, it gets you through life. Hang around with good people. Right, Fred?
No doubt.
Yeah.
It's who you surround yourself with.
Oh, without a
right?
doubt.
And the more you surround yourself with good people, the more the more your life progresses.
Without
and the
a
way
doubt.
the more your family's life progresses.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing.
In Lowell, that's the thing that I love, and I know why we're getting a lot of people moving this way. If you live in Cambridge, you're going to pay what, $1 to $2 million for a place, little tiny house, $2 million. They can't afford it. In Boston, so they're moving, and they moved to Burlington's unbelievable. Remember what that was at one time when I was a kid?
I got some text here when you're done, Bob.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm done.
Okay. But the downtown is empty. The streets have homeless people everywhere. Taxes are increasing. In normal business, the manager would be fired. Moving right along to our friend in Puerto Rico, it'd be Francisco Maldonado. If present city councilors do not cut the budget for the police department, get rid of the manager's friends, jobs, and we will have democratic socialism Superman Marcos Candido elected mayor. Good point. And does anybody realize sovereign banks leaving downtown Lowell? And does the city council care?
No, well, all I'll say is don't do too much rum. I know he's drinking rum over there probably right now. 85 degrees and he's walking
It's
around.
only 8 o'clock
And
in
he's
the morning
walking
over there.
around in a grape smuggler. Don't fool me.
Bobby, I wanna tell you a
I love
story.
the guy. He's a great guy.
I want to tell you a story, and you brought this up before talk about Lawrence and Lowell.
Yeah.
My wife and I took a ride on Easter Sunday, went through Lawrence. You couldn't find a parking spot on Essex Street, the main drag. Restaurants open, stores open, and you go through Lowell, you can get a parking spot anytime, but nothing's open. They don't. You always bring that up, Bobby, how you go through the city of Lawrence and it's a booming city.
Yeah.
And I think it's because of the Spanish descent down. They support their city, and they have a lot of businesses. They have, so.
In Lowell, let's be real. The downtown in Lowell, truthfully, has been a problem for 20 years.
Right.
Minimally 20 years. And you can't blame one city manager to the other.
No.
Businesses don't want to come down there. You're exactly right. There's a homeless issue. There is
Well,
truly
you're
a homeless
competing
issue.
with the internet as
And we know
well.
it. But there's a homeless issue across the goddamn country. So, whether there's a homeless issue in Lowell or not, yes, it exists. I was in Walmart yesterday, and I parked behind Walmart because it's an easy access to the store. There's a homeless camp back there.
Freddie, go up
Wow.
go up to Kittery and look at the outlets up there. There's no homeless laying in the parking lot.
Kittery's different. Newburyport's
How is it
different.
different?
I
Back to
don't
the middle
know
of
how
Vermont,
it's
you won't see
different.
people there.
I don't know how it's different.
7%. They have a higher sales tax than us, and there's no homeless laying in the parking lot. Where
I
are
don't
they?
know. People have said downtown's not laid out correctly. At the end of the day, downtown has been a problem for many, many years. You see businesses come, you see them go. People defecating in storefronts, that's a major issue. At the Windsor shop, they didn't defecate at
Put
my
a roll of
storefront.
toilet paper
I'll tell
out
you
there.
that. But I was a little late when it came down to running my store. You wouldn't see the same thing at Captain John's either.
What
Because
kind of a
Mickey
business
Cosmopolis
doesn't leave
was
a
edgy
roll of
about
toilet
running
paper?
his
But you
business.
also,
Going
you also need, and I said this on the campaign. I say it every time I'm on this show. My kid's almost 2. I live downtown with my wife. I've lived downtown. My wife and I have lived downtown. I don't even know how long at this point. I have no problem. In people who don't live downtown, well, the homeless. Yeah, are there homeless people? Yes. Do I think twice about throwing my kid in a stroller and walking around? No. It's not. It's not. Whatever the vision is in the head in downtown, that's not that. I'm not going to South. I'm not going to South Common. I'll be completely honest. I'm not going to South Common. But that's not where all the businesses are either. The problem is that downtown is a neighborhood. And every time I say it, people get mad at me. But you can't build as much housing as has been built downtown, put as many people into what used to be a department store district. And before that, it was Mills and office. I live in an old office building. But you have all these people, and their interaction, the number one interaction they have with the city of Lowell is the walk from their building door out their lobby to a parking garage to get in their car and drive somewhere where you can do any of the things that you would expect to do in an area where people live. Do we have a grocery store? We have Foodland.
Bobby,
park?
this is,
Downtown, you
Bobby,
can
this
get
is
to the market basket.
Maldonado wine or Maldonado champagne. I don't know what it is, but he said it.
Enjoy it, brother. Enjoy it.
Sean, you came from Methuen, is that what you
Yeah.
said? What drew you to Lowell?
So I went to UMass Lowell.
Okay.
When we got out of the Peace Corps, we needed a place to live. I liked living in Lowell when I was in college, so lived in Lowell, left to move to Mozambique, came back from Mozambique, crashed on a couple couches crashed a couple places while we put our lives together. It was the middle of a pandemic, right? There wasn't a lot going on. Said Lowell centrally located, easy wherever it is we wind up working. My wife had gotten a job with the Lawrence school system. I thought I was gonna maybe go to Methuen. I was looking at a couple other places, but no matter what, central location, easy access to the highways, affordable rent,
And you like it?
and I love it. We never left.
Comments from the audience. Respectfully, the city raises the parking rates during functions in the city. That may be a reason. The lawyers moved out of the Lowell Sun. The lawyers moved out. The Lowell Sun left. The buses are moving. No reason to go into the city. Interesting angle. Another great show. Thanks for everyone getting up extra. Will Tom, Cisco, Brady be back next week? Yes, they will. Don't let him fill you. Don't let him fill in. I don't know what that is. He will take your job. And the last one is hiring a former state representative as a city manager is being strategic because a former state rep brings intimate knowledge of Beacon Hill and deep understanding of municipal law, and they directly will benefit the city with funding. Interesting. Back to you guys.
Yeah,
You know,
that's why no other city with a Plan E or Plan D government hires as many former state reps as Lowell does, right? Because it's such a
It's
genius
a popularity contest. Do you got the votes? That's the big question.
Yeah.
And that's
Please.
when I love to talk about our city manager. He has the votes. Plus, if you met him, tell me how long it takes you to like him. He's a nice guy.
He's a nice guy.
He's a nice guy. And
But the downtown, I mean, we remember, right?
But Bobby,
the
you have to
mall's
ask
still
yourself,
downtown,
Yeah.
would
right?
you hire him to run your company?
no, and since
Okay.
you asked me that question, I'd hire a guy named Dan Durkin. That's who I'd hire.
Okay, Freddie, would you hire the manager to run your company?
Would I hire the manager? I'm not on the
Tom
city
Golden,
council.
would you hire the manager, city manager of Lowell, Tom Golden, to run your company?
My window company, absolutely. How's that
Okay.
sound?
Tom Golden, would you hire Tom Golden to run your company?
I don't have a company, but I bring him in as one of the top CEOs. and say, would you? Because you don't like him, so you can't answer.
No,
So
I don't.
You can't answer.
I don't dislike it.
You can't- oh, you don't
I like
dislike
Tom
him.
Golden,
Oh, you do?
but he's not he's a shitty manager.
And Donahue and Murphy were runaway. All right.
No, see, but this is what makes me. I got a problem with them too. That's the thing.
But he doesn't.
I know.
But you're
They were
downtown. Remember
non-political.
Bobby Martin's clothing?
Yeah.
McQuaid's clothing.
Oh, yeah.
I went to
McCartan Electric.
I went to
Bon
the
Nottingham.
Marché,
Kitricks on the
Cherry and
outside.
Webb.
Bon Marché,
Oh.
Cherry and Webb, right? That all worked so beautifully. You would run downtown. And that's where you got things. Lull and Hartford's. That's where things got done.
You're making me feel-
All of a sudden, the goddamn Pheasant Lane Mall opens. All the businesses start shutting
and now
down.
Amazon's taking over.
And that's correct. So now the Pheasant Lane Mall is taking a major hit. If they don't have a casino, they don't exist.
Right.
My favorite jobs were the Strand Theater, the Merritt Bowling
There you
Alley.
go. Yes.
There you go.
Rialto
the-
Bowling
driving
Alley,
a
Brentwood
Lowell,
Bowling Alley.
driving a Lowell Sun truck, and I got fired for industrial sabotage.
Industrial sabotage.
Yeah, someone lit the papers
driving
in the
too
back
fast?
of my truck. No,
Oh, yeah.
We have another gladiator that wants to hire Tom as the boss. I would, because he's very affable and gets along with people. I want a boss that's effective. Grand Slam question, comrade. Great show today. That's from Jay.
So, Sean,
Thanks, Jay.
let's just say Tom Golden announces tonight he's resigning, effective July 1st. Who's the next city manager?
You know what? You know what my answer is. And
Vanna.
I wish it would be everybody's answer.
It wouldn't be a
I have
politician,
no.
right?
I have no idea,
Don't you think
and I
it's-
don't think we should.
It's Vanna.
What?
It's Vanna. It's Vanna.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
I
You said
think
that the last time I was on this show.
he always
You
says
said
it.
that the-
He always says it. I think it should actually be a real search, and you should hire a professional manager who is qualified,
Oh,
who
they're gonna
has
call you a
experience
racist now.
in municipal government, right? I do. I think the game of hiring outgoing reps, senators, whoever. I think it's silly. Unless you point to someone who says, "Oh, I was a professional municipal administrator, then I ran for state rep, and now I'm coming back." Okay, that's never happened, right? But I don't think being a state rep or a state senator qualifies you to be a city manager. I just don't. And I think if we want to have politicians run the city, there are plans for that. It's not plan E, it's not plan D. There are options. You want to have a politician run the city, let them run for it. That's what they do. I'd be fine with that.
I have
Marty
to.
Laurie has a comment on Facebook. Eric and Corey speak from the hip, and I think voters like that.
Oh, there's no doubt.
But not long ago,
no
I
doubt.
remember they were trying to put a Trader Joe's in downtown, and I think that
Really?
thing sort of went awry. And
Well,
again,
Trader
we-
Joe's has got to say, okay, can it pay for itself? Will it make a profit?
That's the question, and I think it would make a profit.
They
I
closed.
think it would.
They ran Dunkin's out of town.
I had 3 Dunkin' Donuts that were touching each other.
And also the homeless. So that's another issue. But the vacant storefronts are a problem. If you're telling me, Tom, that Lawrence on Essex Street was jam packed on Easter Sunday
yeah.
And Haven.
with small businesses intact, then truthfully, what are we doing wrong?
But
Because the downtown's been a bane to our sides for a long time,
There are-
and we need to do something.
There were two huge hits to our downtown. I think. I'm sure there's more. And both of them are the city's fault. They are. One, why is almost every city agency, we got public health down there, we got the career center on Merrimack Street, we've got the school department on Merrimack Street, we've got, then not on the city side, but on the nonprofit side, you got CTI, you got all these,
State.
all state, city, and social services on what should be like the main business track, right? So that's problem number one. Problem number two, the rest of your stores, you got a recruiter for every branch of the armed service and the National Guard, both, right? The Air and the Army National Guard, as well as a recruiter for everybody. You get 2 or 3 cell phone stores. What's left? Those are a couple restaurants, and the restaurants
And the
do.
restaurants are struggling.
And the restaurants are struggling. Some of them do well.
Some do well.
But recruiters are not foot traffic drivers. Cell phone stores are not foot traffic drivers. There's no real park. There's no grocery store. There's no neighborhood level retail space. We have one convenience store for a neighborhood that has over 6,000 people in it.
And he does
one
a good
convenience
job.
store.
He does a good
He
job.
does a great job.
He does a good job.
And he's very close to me, so I appreciate it.
Coming from a guy that ran a
Yeah.
convenience store.
Yeah,
Right.
he does a great job. But I think at times we think too big on downtown. Downtown needs you have 6,000. You have foot traffic built in. They live there. You got to get them out of their buildings and not into the car, but moving around in the neighborhood they live in. I think the commercial areas in that are near the Highlands do this well. That are in the Acre do this well. Even that's in Pawtucketville do this well. You have neighborhood scale business everywhere. I think you got to get that rebuilt
But don't
in
forget,
downtown
it's a
before
small
you.
scale. What you're just
Yeah.
saying is a small scale, right?
Yes.
The neighborhoods.
Tomorrow
in the-
City Life, we have the town manager from Kingsborough coming, calling noise
You
out,
gotta start small.
along with the
Why don't you
host
start
Linda
small,
Bound.
you know?
Back to you guys, time is short, Bob.
Yeah, so I'm gonna throw another plug out there for Tom and Drake, our friend Phil
Phil Tebow.
Tebow. We gotta throw a plug out there for him. I hope he wins this time. Great guy, great guy.
Got the last comments of the day. It should be Dan Rourke. Dan is stronger and a leader. I think Eric's just as good, like both the guys. The next manager will be a political career job owner, so they can top off their pension.
Well, I'll leave with this comment. This is how I feel. I pay taxes. I live in District 3, which is Belvedere. There's no doubt our taxes on our home are going to go up again. So don't stress over it. It's going to happen. It's just common sense.
Yeah.
There's too much, like you said, too much need.
Bobby,
It's
the
too much.
question's still out there. How many employees did we have 4 years ago? How many do we have today? Government in Lowell is growing at a rate we cannot afford.
Yeah, watching the school,
Mid-level positions.
watching
so.
the school committee, I'm pretty sure they hired like 150. I'm going to go approximate number, 150 teachers and 150 paras. They might have to get rid of quite a few people.
I wasn't on the school committee at the time.
School department side in my last comment here though, you also at the high school specifically, you have two parallel administrations that each cost about $1 million, right? So you have the head of school, the assistant head of school, and all of the people that work for there, right? Director of operations, director of testing, director of the student service director, who do all of the things that an assistant principal would normally do. And then parallel to them, you have
You guys have 2 minutes.
4 associate principals.
You said
with
earlier,
very little left to run.
I think one of you said there was about 110 employees down on Merrimack Street. I can remember City Hall, there was a superintendent with two assistants and 3 secretaries, and they were in City Hall basement. They had an office there, but that's times change. You know, it's just
To me, what started it off, hiring different people, was that issue on DEI. You know, I was
Long
some,
before that, Bobby.
yeah, oh, no doubt about it. I can go back to 1975 when I've been burnt by that because I was a white man. That was it. That's why I don't have a passport. I feel too white to go anywhere. No, I do. It's just the way I am. I got Seabrook, I got Hampton Beach. That's all I need. You know, that's all I need. I'll stop in Salisbury sometime, but that's when I want to have a beer or two.
You got 45 seconds.
Great to have you on, Fred.
Great
keep
show.
Keep up the good work, my friend, really.
Thanks for having me on.
Doing a great
I
job.
really enjoy
Freddie,
the
can
time.
you give my sister the superintendent job out at the,
Let's put it together.
And,
Put the package
Put it in the
together.
application.
Sean, don't change your way, buddy. Stay
don't.
straight. When you're on this show,
I don't think he's
bud,
gonna.
look at on this show. Look at yourself.
Does Vanna
on TV
already have
all the
that
time
job?
when you speak?
Does Vanna already have that job?
Look at him. He's not.
No.
He's not.
I'm not even answering.
I
I'm
hope
not
I
even-
have time for Joe Espinola. I think Joe, as a Democrat, could beat her, and that's who I'll work for. I'm hoping it's Joe Espinola. So,
Uh,
Corey,
All right, we're
Corey
gonna go.
Robinson. Have a good
Say
day.
goodbye.
Have a
Thanks
good
for
one.
watching.
Bye.
Thank you.
See you tomorrow.